Nice. The can is green, so I thought it would do that. I forgot to check in for the tournament tonight. Therefore, I will be just playing some ranked, like a dummy. I already have the skins for that, so cool. No, I mean, I was literally sitting right here this whole time. I've been sitting here for the last, like, 30 minutes, and 10 o'clock rolled around, and I was like, why haven't I gotten my first match yet? And then I realized, because I thought I'd put it in for it to automatically check me in, but guess I didn't. And it's cool anyway. I honestly might end the stream earlier tonight because I'm kind of tired again. Might get another 3D print going, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's happening.
Total Khan. Jax.
What's up, General?
Hourglass.
I'll check out some news after this match. Let's see. Let's see. What up, Roxy?
We have not met
I am
in
pretty
combat.
thick.
Consider yourself lucky, Cole.
Dummy
I prefer
thick.
to seize the challenge.
Round 1. Fight.
Dummy thick cheeks.
You caught death.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my fucking god. Trying to get a slice of the cake. The flawless demon cake. The perfect yokai peach.
Round 2. Fight.
Why did he do that?
Don't mess with a snake eater.
Final round. Fight.
You're getting shelled.
Haha.
Finish him.
The Walker Texas Ranger kick, bonk.
Jax wins.
I got some news. I got some COVID news as always. I got some Afghanistan news. It's interesting. Matter of fact, let me see what Jacobin is talking about real quick. After I finish this match against this dude, I'll pull it up.
Round 1. Fight.
Get zoned, kid. Made him use that trash canistan. That's funny. My man got the totems.
Round 2. Fight.
That's what I wanted to do.
Need a medic.
Are you fucking kidding me? Nope. Thank you for the leg draw creep. Nope. Nope. No, I'm not in the tournament. I mean, this is my first match. I'm going to play more matches tonight, but I forgot to check in the tournament, so I'm not playing tournament tonight.
Fight.
Guess I beat my down one.
You caught death.
I micro-ducked that, but okay. Oh my god, that's so silly.
Total Khan wins.
I'm playing like trash. That's funny. I won the first round, or first match of the set.
Round 1. Fight.
The big L, yeah. Shouldn't have done that. That is a gap, friend.
All right, let's do this.
Mute the tab.
Round 2. Fight.
Every time I try a tick throw, it fucking makes me just do a regular grab. No, sir.
You will serve our world.
Rubber match.
Final round. Fight!
You caught me.
Oh, what? Oh my god. Oh, that's so silly.
Brutality.
It is ended.
Total Khan wins.
All right, I'm gonna show you guys some news. You guys want to see some news now? That was silly. I should have won that. Thank you for the like, okay, gaming. I'm gonna I'm gonna do this. Why is all my screens black? Okay, there we go. Excuse me, sorry. All right, news time. Yeah, almost came back with the Magic Pixel. Yeah, the Magic Pixel comeback is the name of the game. All right, so I'm gonna read this news. So yet again, the U.S. was defeated in Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, as in Vietnam and Iraq, U.S. elites sold us a vision of the world in which the United States alone has not just the power, but the duty to forcibly reshape the world how it sees fit. They have again proven utterly incapable of doing so. What's up, TV gameplay? To look at it one way, the Afghanistan war was a great success. If you think of the perpetually grinding U.S. war machine as one great big funnel through which public money is turned into corporate profits, then the war's more than $2 trillion worth of spending has been a boon for a variety of business interests, from the private military contractors who outnumbered the U.S. troops 7-1 by the war's end, to the various companies arming, supplying, equipping, and constructing for the war effort, to the private investors who own the majority of U.S. debt and have benefited from the more than $500 billion of interest the government has paid on its war borrowing so far, which is insane to me. I didn't know that statistic about the private military contractors, the mercenaries rather, outnumbering actual U.S. troops 7-1. That's pretty nutty. I'm sure Eric Prince made a pretty penny off of that. And furthermore, it should be disgusting and alarming to anyone paying even the slightest bit of attention. The fact that no matter whether we win or lose, no matter how many people die, no matter how many family members are lost, no matter how many lives are destroyed, no matter how many stable nations are destabilized, there's people making money. War is for profit in the United States of America. But there is another more earnest side of the Washington foreign policy establishment, one that genuinely believes the United States' position as a global hegemon allows it to limitlessly reshape the world in whatever ways it sees fit for the sake of its own interests. And Afghanistan's swift collapse over the past week in the face of a Taliban onslaught is just one more case from a lengthy history that proves this wrong. So, it's two edges of the same sword, right? On the right, you have the straight up fascistic imperialists like warhawks who just think that the United States should just straight up conquer the entire rest of the planet and turn every other country in the world into a territory of the United States, right? On the other hand, you have the liberals on the Democratic side who believe that as the world police, the leaders of the free world, it is our duty and our privilege to go into other countries to destabilize them, to spread democracy and freedom and all those other platitudes that Americans believe in, because they don't spend more than 2 seconds thinking about any of the politics of what goes on in America or in foreign policy. So, thank you for swinging that banhammer. This ain't Recon's channel. We don't want no bots here. Facts. Yo, shout out to Recon. I hope you're still mauling about those Rush Limbaugh comments. Anyway, and he was a veteran too, so I'm sure he's fucked up about all this stuff. I'm wondering. I genuinely wonder what Recon has to say about the events that have transpired over the last weekend or last week, or really the last year and a half, honestly. And in regard specifically to this event, but Recon got more bots than Splitgate. Oh man, the United States. Let me finish this. The United States is, of course, still an enormously powerful nation. It has the world's largest military, the capability to annihilate all life on the planet many times over, the power to cripple its adversaries' economies, influence other nations' elections, and inflame political unrest within them, as it has demonstrated in Venezuela, Iran, and Cuba, to name a few. But the ability to destroy is not the ability to control, any more than the thrashing of a bull at a rodeo means it won't end up locked in a pen at the end of the day. And it's hard to square this latest failure with the story U.S. elites tell their people and the world about the indispensable nation using military force wherever it likes to remove bad governments and spread democracy. We've just... I'm sorry, the bot comment took me. Anyway, we've just watched the Afghan security forces, which the U.S. military has spent nearly 2 decades and billions of dollars, with a B, training to maintain the country's fragile U.S.-made democracy once U.S. troops were gone, practically evaporate in the face of a Taliban that blasted through them like a fist punching through smoke. Yeah, they certainly wanted the smoke, and they got it. They got all of it. White House officials and military planners alike were taken by surprise by the speed of the successful campaign, which defied even the most recent pessimistic intelligence estimates. Excuse me. Itself an indictment of a military establishment that we know has lied about the war's progress for years. The desperate scramble to airlift U.S. personnel, citizens, and allies from Kabul as the Taliban took the capital has drawn valid comparisons to the similarly chaotic U.S. withdrawal from Vietnam in 1975, which saw U.S. and South Vietnamese officials scramble into helicopters on the U.S. Embassy roof as the Viet Cong pummeled Saigon. That was another conflict where the U.S. military, after decades of involvement, including 11 years of open warfare, saw its client state quickly fold and was forced to withdraw against an opponent it vastly outmatched militarily. As some have pointed out, Afghanistan is worse in many ways, as the Taliban are neither as large or well equipped as the Viet Cong were, nor are backed by a superpower. It also calls to mind Washington's ill-fated adventure in Iraq, launched shortly after Afghanistan in the heyday of neoconservative fantasies about U.S. power. Contrary to the drunken optimism of the Bush administration and its media toadies, the war wasn't quick, easy, or successful because it turned out simply removing Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein from power wouldn't automatically lead to democracy, peace, or stability. Imagine that. Imagine you topple the leader of a nation and a power vacuum occurs that is not instantly filled with the most ideal form of government. Imagine that. Instead, the United States spent years, and in fact is still there for the foreseeable future, navigating a civil war, training security forces, and trying to prop up an authoritarian sectarian government. The Taliban's rapid takeover of Afghanistan will look familiar to anyone who remembers Iraqi forces' stunning collapse against ISIS in 2014. I certainly remember that. I don't know if anyone else does. If I know a lot of people in the room right now are close to my age, so I don't know if you're paying attention at that time, but that was, whoo boy, did we get our cheeks clapped in Iraq. The chaos unleashed by the Iraq War didn't stop Barack Obama, who had become president in large part on the basis of his opposition to the disastrous war, from blundering into a regime change operation of his own in Libya. And we all see how Libya turned out, didn't we? Just like Iraq, killing the dictator simply triggered bedlam in the country while destabilizing the wider region beyond its borders. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's like literally fucking like actual slavery in Libya now. Like partially, if not mostly, because of that whole situation. In both cases, the wars didn't even serve the narrow interests of U.S. geopolitical goals. Hassan's removal created an opening for Washington's other Middle Eastern adversary, Iran, to enter and wield influence within the country, while Libya hardened the determination of, for one, North Korea to hold on to its weapons of mass destruction, having seen what happens to leaders who make the mistake of disarming. And yeah, of course, are you fucking kidding me? You got a gun aimed at you. This person has a gun aimed at you, and they're like, yeah, it's cool. Just drop your gun. You know what I'm saying? Everything's going to be cool. And you're like, why? You have your gun. Aren't you going to put your gun down? And they're like, nah, we're going to keep our gun. You put yours down, though, and I promise nothing will happen to you. What should have been clear ever since the failure in Vietnam, where U.S. forces dropped more than 1 million tons worth of bombs on the North Vietnamese and helped kill more than 1 million of them, all for nothing, which is absolutely insane to me, is that the United States' extraordinary capacity for brute force has only a limited usefulness in situations that call for long-term political solutions. In Afghanistan, all the air power in the world couldn't help it create a modern, professional, and sustainable security force. Excuse me. Nor establish a popular, effective, and non-corrupt government. Some will question how far U.S. policymakers actually buy into the indispensable nation nonsense they sell to the public and the world. But what's not debatable is that it's something they want other people to believe, even as episode after episode demonstrates the stark limits of U.S. power and the incompetence of the human beings who wield it. And that should hopefully make anyone skeptical of the calls for more U.S.-led war and regime change that we keep on hearing, whether it's in Cuba, Iran, or so many more. And of course not, because like I said before, whether we win or lose, someone is getting the bag off of war making in the United States. Therefore, the nonsense will continue, and you will continue to see it. So let's see. So here's Catholic goofatry. Let's check this out. So a Catholic leader fueled lies about COVID-19 vaccines before ending up on a ventilator. Imagine that. CNN's Polo Sandoval reports on conservative Cardinal Raymond Leo Burke, American Cardinal Prelate of the Roman Catholic Church, who spread misinformation about coronavirus vaccines before being hospitalized himself and put on a ventilator. Let's see what he has to say. If this will actually load.
So there is a certain movement to insist that now everyone must be vaccinated against the coronavirus COVID-19, and even that a kind of microchip needs to be placed under the skin of every person.
Cardinal Raymond Burke, one of the Catholic Church's most outspoken conservatives, helped fuel baseless conspiracy theories about the vaccine and spread misinformation about the coronavirus over a year ago. It was well before shots were even being administered.
It must be clear that vaccination itself cannot be imposed in a totalitarian manner on citizens.
The 73-year-old cardinal announced his own COVID diagnosis on social media last week. Days later, a plea for prayers was made on his Twitter account after he was hospitalized and placed on a ventilator.
Rest in peace.
Previously, the cardinal has addressed COVID from the pulpit. In a December 2020 homily, the former St. Louis archbishop labeled COVID-19 the Wuhan virus. It's a phrase used by some to imply that China was to blame for the outbreak.
Then there is the mysterious Wuhan virus. It has been used by certain forces, inimical to families and to the freedom of nations, to advance their evil agenda.
It's still unclear if Cardinal Burke has been vaccinated for COVID-19.
Nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo.
Pope Francis, who he's often at odds with, has been.
Ma che mi sembra, che non mi sembra, no, è un'opzione etica.
That was the pontiff calling on Catholics to get vaccinated, describing it as their ethical duty.
You have to protect yourself, your own body, the temple of the Holy Spirit, as the scripture says. So I think that that is why the church is saying that you have a moral obligation to get the vaccine so that you are protected and your fellow men and women are protected.
CNN religion commentator Father Edward Beck sees Cardinal Burke as an outlier, one of only a few right-wing church leaders who have been defiant of the Vatican's message to get vaccinated.
He has said that it's God and not the state that is the ultimate provider of health, that Jesus will protect you. But I mean, the state, God, and Jesus work together for the common good. And I think that the cardinal and maybe those who've been opposed to vaccines are beginning to see that because of those who are getting sick, the majority of those who have not been vaccinated.
Though Cardinal Burke now serves in Rome, he was hospitalized here in Wisconsin, where he was supposed to be celebrating a series of masses here at a shrine that he helped establish. Aaron, we reached back out to that shrine in an effort to try to get an update on Cardinal Burke's condition. Still waiting to hear back right now.
Wild. So much wildness in that.
Let's listen to one unvaccinated man.
Shut up, dude. Oh, hold up. This looks, hold on. I kind of want to watch this because this is going to be some heat. But let me just talk about what we just watched really quick first, though. Let me read the comments because I'm being a bad streamer. I haven't read any of the stream chat yet. Contracts rule everything around me. The Catholic spliff. Oh yeah, we're gonna be smoking on that holy fucking spliff. If you look at the stock of companies like Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed Martin from 2001 till 9, oh yeah, absolutely. Check the group chat. You sent me a pic. Oh my God. Hold on. So, in related to what I was reading, what I was looking at before this, hang on. Just look at this. Remember how I said earlier that companies, like, there's people who make money no matter whether we win or lose wars? Just take a look at this really quick. Just check this out. Just peep this. Just look at that. Just soak that in. Let that marinate for a minute. 2001, that was when 9/11 happened, right? And then boom, something happened in this area. I'm not quite sure what. I'm thinking that actually, I'm sorry, this area here. Something happened in there, but you know, wild. Absolutely wild. But it's also, it should be, and you know, I really don't want to talk shit about like Catholicism, or like I kind of want to low-key avoid shitting on religion on this platform, even though I've done it in the past. I kind of don't really want to do that going forward. But it's very hard for me to not acknowledge the fact that a lot of, like, when people talk about how that cardinal was an outlier. I think one of the correspondents in that last piece we just watched was saying that cardinal, that anti-vaxxer cardinal, was an outlier. Not specifically because of his stance on COVID-19 and the vaccine, but just him being a right-winger in general. That is fucking false. Like, extraordinarily fucking false. There might be not as fascistic, and I can't even really say that. I should say that while there might be more neoliberal members of the Catholic Church in terms of its like actual rank and file, like actual what's the word, ordained like, you know, clergy, there's definitely a lot of right-wing cranks in Catholicism, and that ideology or like that religion kind of breeds that notion in terms of being super far right-wing, super conservative, in no small part due to American propaganda about you know, rich Catholics and so on and so forth. Because it kind of goes against what Jesus Christ even taught, right? Didn't he specifically say that it would be easier for a camel to fit through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to get in heaven? You know what I mean? Just weirdo, bizarro shit. And they also literally can't stop fucking people's kids. But QAnon will never address that, so. Biden is Catholic? That wouldn't surprise me in the least. Yeah, I'm sure all those companies, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, they all made a bag off of the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq and the Iranian conflict. But yeah, and of course Libya, everybody made a bag off Libya. But yeah, original sin, there's nothing more American, there's nothing more Catholic than telling your toddler child that's barely old enough to understand the concept of life and death that the savior of humanity was killed and it's their fault and they are filthy and born and live in sin and should always be mindful of the invisible sky daddy that watches their every move and judges their every action. So with that said, let's check this out here.
Let's listen to one unvaccinated man who told CNN's Donny O'Sullivan his reasons for avoiding the shot. Here's what he said the other day.
Have you been vaccinated?
No.
Why not?
Not going to.
Look at this big horse.
God gave us natural immunities to everything.
See,
why would you want to interfere?
You're an older man than I am. You're probably in the what the government would say is the risk category.
Well, who come up with that?
The scientists and the doctors.
Who told them to say that?
What would you say to him, Doctor?
Well, first, what I would say is that at first I wouldn't say anything. I would listen. I would try to understand what his concerns are, what he's heard about natural immunity compared to vaccine-related immunity. And then I tried to talk to him about what we've understood actually from the studies about natural immunity. We are seeing more and more data that tells us that while you get some protection from natural infection, it's not nearly as strong as what you get from the vaccine, especially with the Delta variant, which is the hardiest and most contagious variant we've seen to date. We need all the protection that we can get. That's why the vaccines are so effective.
But I also hear that man saying he doesn't trust anybody. He thinks the doctors and scientists are being told what to say.
Absolute
it's this profound
Luddite.
loss of social trust that obviously predates the pandemic. And I wonder if you, at the end of the night, you just say there's only so much we can do to win back people's trust.
Well, it's a really important point because this is about trust. And you can't repair trust overnight or in one conversation. And so sometimes the conversations we have may not seem to move the needle at all, even if we are armed with the facts and with the science. And that's why the messenger matters in addition to the message. This effort to protect our country against COVID-19 by getting people vaccinated, this has to be a people-powered effort that we build all across America. This is not just about what the government can do. This is not just about what hospitals will do. It's about the choice that we make to pick up the phone, call our family and friends, ask them if they've been vaccinated, hear them out if they haven't been, but then help them get the facts and get a place, that they can get vaccinated, which they can easily now find at vaccines.gov.
Wild.
Let's listen to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. He is still continuing this battle against mask mandates. Let's take a look.
Wild. Let's check this out. This is interesting.
They are basically saying
Oh,
that
God.
we are
This will
all
be total
just subservient to medical authoritarianism. Whatever they think needs to be done, we have to submit to it. It's probably, Tucker, the most significant threat to freedom in my lifetime, certainly since the fall of the Berlin Wall.
The Berlin Wall.
Right. I have news for the governor. A greater threat to freedom is being paralyzed in a drug-induced coma on a ventilator in an ICU. The governor of Florida is violating the rule of holes. You know the rule of holes? When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
Right.
He has dug himself an enormous hole in Florida, and he has handcuffed himself. He has removed the tools that a governor has to try and suppress a pandemic like this, enforcing masking requirements, closing down crowded venues, incentivizing people either positively or negatively to get vaccinated. He has removed all of these tools, and he's found himself in a deep, deep hole, yet he keeps digging.
That's like absolutely fucking insane. Oh, let's see what Arnie had to say.
Yeah, you have the freedom to wear no mask, but you know something? You're a schmuck for not wearing a mask because you're not supposed to protect your fellow members around you.
You're a schmuck. Yo.
There is a virus here. It kills people. And the only way we prevent it is to get vaccinated, to wear masks, to do social distancing, washing your hands all the time, and not just to think about, well, my freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom. Because with freedom comes obligations and kind of responsibilities. It's like no different than a traffic light. We put a traffic light at an intersection so someone doesn't kill someone else by accident.
I mean, that was some heat, though. That was some heat. That was some heat. Oh, man. That was just wow. Yeah, just wow. So you might have seen the headline or the title of the stream. Today is or rather today would be Freddie Gray's 32nd birthday. So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. For those of you who don't know who Freddie Gray is, who haven't heard that name before, a few years before George Floyd, we had Freddie Gray in the year 2015, who was killed in police custody. And subsequently, there was a mass uprising in the streets of Baltimore City. There's a lot of property damage, a lot of arrests made. The police abused lots of children, teenagers. There was a lot of really ugly stuff that happened in the days that followed Freddie Gray's death, as well as the mistrial of the police officers who were involved. So let me go ahead. There's this this Vox piece here that's from 2016. I'm wondering if it's been updated. No, I guess not. All right, so here we go. I'll just read it. Baltimore was roiled by weeks of tense protests after the April 19 death of Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old black man who died of a spinal cord injury while in police custody. But the justice system ultimately punished no one for it. The Baltimore protests erupted after Freddie Gray's mysterious death, and it wasn't mysterious. We all know what happened to Freddie Gray. We don't know the gory details, but we know the police killed Freddie Gray. Gray's death and the protests it inspired once again placed a national spotlight on issues of race, justice, police brutality, and the deep distrust between minority communities and their local governments. The protests came about almost immediately following Gray's death as demonstrators marched to demand answers for what happened to the 25-year-old and to protest police brutality, of which Baltimore has a troubling history. We'll take a look at that later because I want to get into that. But the situation escalated as local authorities refused to release details in their investigation into Gray's death. Riots broke out on April 27th after Gray's funeral, drawing nationwide attention and even comments from President Barack Obama over the crumbling situation in the city. But on May 1st, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, who fucking sucks, free Keith Davis Jr., Marilyn Mosby announced criminal charges, including second-degree murder and manslaughter against the 6 officers involved in Gray's arrest. The announcement calmed tensions in the city as protesters felt that one of their main goals had been reached. But ultimately, surprise, surprise, none of the charges stuck. Much of the anger during protests was focused on the lack of answers surrounding Gray's death, which persisted for weeks. As the investigation dragged on, many people felt that the local government and police were engaging in a cover-up to hide how Gray received the spinal cord injury that killed him and whether the officers that arrested him caused it. But the protests and riots in Baltimore are also part of a much broader national debate about systemic problems that have existed for decades. The protests are specifically about one man in a very troubled neighborhood that gets a disproportionate amount of attention from police, but they also seek to bring attention to the police brutality that all too often afflicts black men in the U.S. Freddie Gray suffered a fatal spinal cord injury on April 12th when he was tossed around the back of a police van. He was shackled by his hands and feet but unrestrained by his seatbelt, which meant he couldn't protect himself from the impact as he crashed into the interior of the vehicle. An autopsy report, which was obtained by the Baltimore Sun's Justin Fenton, found Gray likely received the energy when the van suddenly decelerated. He died a week later, on April 19th. On May 1st, Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby announced the death had been ruled a homicide by a medical examiner. Mosby announced 28 criminal charges, including second-degree murder and manslaughter, against the 6 officers involved in Gray's arrest. A grand jury on May 21st indicted all 6 officers for Gray's death, but none of the charges stuck in court. Gray was arrested for allegedly possessing a switchblade, which is, for anyone who doesn't understand city versus county in terms of like jurisdictions and legalities for police departments, the inner cities, you literally cannot even cross the street without breaking the law somehow, without giving the police a reason to stop and harass you and potentially arrest you, right? It's kind of like stop and frisk, except it's legal because on the books, the police can say you were breaking jaywalking law, or in this case, you had a spring-assisted knife, which is, to understand how silly this is a knife that you could drive 15 minutes out of the city and buy in a box store like Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart, anything like that. But as soon as you cross that city line into the city with that knife, congratulations, you are now breaking the law, and the police now have the carte blanche to do whatever they want to you, as if they didn't already have that. But legally, on paper, it gives people who are bystanders to the event an excuse to look the other way on it, which is what the fascistic raving lunatic hog right-wingers would do anyway, because they understand better than anyone that the role of police is not to protect you or to protect the public. The role of the police is to enforce hegemony and to enforce class division, right, and to protect property. But the neoliberals and the liberals, or whatever, for whatever reason, still are under the impression that the police serve the public good in terms of, protecting the populace, even though there's a crazy amount of unsolved rapes, crazy amount of unsolved murders. The police themselves rape and murder people. The police sell drugs, all this stuff that I could go on and on about, but I'm sure you understand my point. Gray was arrested for allegedly possessing a switchblade, but Mosby said Gray's knife wasn't a switchblade and was therefore illegal, which is a completely moot point anyway. Like I said earlier, even if it was a spring-assisted knife, the fact that you could buy that same exact knife 15 minutes away in the county and then bring it into the city and it instantly becomes illegal is absurdly silly and obvious, very, very obvious what the point of that is. But according to a timeline provided by Mosby, Gray fled at the sight of police presence in an area of town known for drug dealing. Police pursued Gray, eventually catching up and restraining him on the ground. Officers then arrested Gray after they noticed a knife on him. Video footage of the arrest showed officers dragging Gray, who was screaming in apparent pain, to a police van. Police don't use force in the video, but the recording started after the officers already had Gray in custody. One of the people who recorded the arrest, Kevin Moore, described the scene to the Baltimore Sun's Catherine Rentz, claiming that police folded Gray like origami, contradicting claims that officers peacefully restrained him. The officer had their knee in his neck and he was just screaming for life, Moore said. He couldn't breathe, he needed an asthma pump, which he let them know, and they ignored it. And as we all know now, based on what happened to George Floyd, this is incredibly plausible because that is what the police do. They don't care. They don't care that you have a medical condition. They don't care about any of that. They're going to do what they want to do, and what they want to do is kneel on your back or kneel on your neck or in any other form or fashion hurt you, injure you, to the point that you are dead or almost dead, and then they could just kill you later. Police transported Gray to the station in a van in which he reportedly experienced a medical emergency as a result of his neck injury and was eventually transferred to trauma care. Gray wasn't wearing a seatbelt while riding in the van, Baltimore Police Commissioner Anthony Batts revealed in a press conference on April 24th. No excuses for that, period, he said. And that right there, for anyone who, if you're lucky enough to have never had any encounters with the law or law enforcement, it's bullshit and it's PR. And there actually is an excuse for that. And the excuse for that is that there are no seatbelts in the back of those vans. At several points, Gray pleaded for medical care, including an inhaler for his asthma, but police ignored him. One of the officers thought Gray was faking his injury, according to the Baltimore Sun's Justin George. But Batts said in an April 20th press conference that there were multiple occasions when police should have called medics but didn't, and those failures have prompted a review of police policies to ensure detainees get medical care when they need it. Which is just more PR. Like I said, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. If they cared about you needing medical attention, they probably wouldn't kneel on your neck and back in the first place. You know what I mean? But I digress. And yes, Geninator, yeah, absolutely, 100% PR. The police van reportedly stopped at least 4 times before Gray was sent to trauma care, once to place leg shackles on Gray, and later to pick up another detainee who was separated from Gray by a metal barrier in the back of the van. And that's what I'm talking about. So, first of all, it's very sus that they stopped just to put leg shackles on him, because they either should have, one, put the leg shackles on him when they first put him in the van, or number 2, waited till they got to central bookings to then put the leg irons on him. Because that has been my experience, and that was only the first time I got arrested, was that obviously I was in handcuffs, but in order to prevent you from which is also silly, might I add, because by this point you're already in a fenced off, a barbed wire area about to be taken into super high security facility, right? And you're already handcuffed, but just to add the extra insult to injury and to really, really make sure you aren't going to try to escape or anything, they put you in leg irons that just tear up your ankles. If they're being dickheads, they'll tighten them up. They already tighten your handcuffs. That's something police already do. But if they really want to be dicks, they'll tighten up your leg irons, and by the time you get out, you'll have little cuts and stuff all over your ankles. And as for the van, there is a metal barrier in the center of the van, right? So if you can imagine Like, I don't know if you guys have ever taken like a transportation, like from school, if you went to a private school or something and they had like a van's transportation service instead of a bus. In this van, which is like a box econo van, down the center is a like metal partition. So once you're inside of the van, you can't really sit like how I'm sitting in this chair right now while you're handcuffed. You have to kind of tilt, like you're kind of cocked to the side because you just don't have enough room to put your knees and legs out. And as I said before, there's no seat belts back there, right? Even if there were seat belts back there, the police would have to put them on you because clearly you are handcuffed, right? It's just it's silly. Combined, the details exposed by Mosby investigations suggest that Gray shouldn't have been arrested, which is, I mean, that's true of like 80% of the people who get arrested in the city. And the officers involved in Gray's arrest were at best negligent and at worst abusive. So, I said this on stream before. You never assume malice where ignorance will suffice, but that said, sometimes there is ignorance that is so advanced that it's indistinguishable from malice. And if you don't understand what I mean by that, it's that your level of carelessness and callousness is so far gone that you have to legitimately hate and actively dislike anyone who might encounter you might give this treatment to, right? So, even if what I'm talking about and what they did was just protocol, it was something that was dictated to them to do. In order for you to carry out that action and just do your job, you have to hate the people that you're doing it to, because there's no way you would be able to do that to someone that you even cared about, gave the smallest, most minuscule amount of respect, the same as any stranger you would on the street, right? So, as police released few answers for weeks regarding Freddie Gray's death, tensions boiled over at times into heated protests and riots. On April 25th, after hours of large, peaceful demonstrations, some protesters began smashing car and business windows and looting stores. At one point, police briefly closed off the Camden Yards baseball stadium, keeping people at the Baltimore Orioles and Boston Red Sox games stuck inside until police gave the all clear, which was, if you were here and you remember that, was a wild event. I'm not sure. A lot of people in my chat are not from or didn't live in or around Baltimore, but it was a crazy period of time. Of course, all the white tourists were just pissed because they couldn't go get beers or hit the bars after their baseball games or whatever. It was silly. And naturally, just like with some of the footage where you saw when I was at the George Floyd protests last summer, where one of the cars drove through the crowd and yelled out the window, "Fucking N-words." I don't want to repeat what he said. It's one of the clips in my stream. You can actually find it now if you go look at my clips. But just like that situation, naturally during this, there were white tourists from the baseball game antagonizing protesters, starting fights, screaming racial slurs, so on and so forth. Violence broke out on April 27th when demonstrators looted, burned 144 vehicles and 15 buildings, and threw bricks, bottles, and other objects at police, injuring at least 20 officers. And that's inaccurate. Well, I mean, it's accurate that happened, but I don't think that this article is going to go into the reasons why that happened. And I don't just mean their reaction to Freddie Gray's murder. I mean that the police literally created a funnel by which the children getting out of school were forced into that situation. And let me see if I can find something else that hang on. Like, there was a fake like, not meme, but like a fake like poster, like fake flyer that was going around that no one knew where it originated from. It more than likely originated from the police, but there was a fake flyer that was going around saying like, you know, we're going to riot, we're going to destroy all the stuff, da 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 da, which obviously the children involved in this uprising had not created, but the police had created and put out either to instigate the children to do that, or in the event that the children ended up not doing it, they would have an excuse to go forth and arrest all these children and say, look, they were planning on doing all this crazy stuff. This is The Guardian. Maybe, hold on, I'll show you guys this just because. So, 49 children were arrested and detained during those protests. So during the 3 days following Freddie Gray's funeral, almost 50 children were held despite 39 of them meeting standards for release, a public defender's office says. Let me see. In one stark example, an elementary school 5th grader was arrested in an incident described by the public defender's office as protest-related. He received a low JDAI score and was recommended for release, but instead was kept in juvenile jail for a night. In a statement, the OPD continued, the young boy was then brought to court in chains, hands and feet shackled, before finally being released to his parents. This is a 5th grader. This is a 5th grader. This is someone that's like 11 or 12 years old. In chains, shackled, feet shackled, hands and feet. This is what the police do. This is the whole reason that they exist. This doesn't really explain. I'm trying really hard so I can explain. Okay, here we go. I think this is okay. Here we go. This is from Mother Jones. Here we go. Okay, yes, this is actually going to explain what happened. The Baltimore riots didn't start the way you think. Baltimore teachers and parents tell a different story from the one you've been reading in the media. After Baltimore police and a crowd of teens clashed near the Mondawmin Mall in northwest Baltimore on Monday afternoon, news reports described the violence as a riot triggered by kids who had been itching for a fight all day. But in interviews with Mother Jones and other media outlets, teachers and parents maintained that police actions inflamed a tense but stable situation. So, the one detail that I do remember very distinctly that I could tell you guys was that Mondawmin Mall, Mondawmin Mall is where it all got sparked off. People who don't know, Mondawmin Mall has a metro station and a bus station. And city schools, if you go to a city school, there is no like yellow bus system like a lot of you in nicer like county areas, and you would expect at a nicer school. If you go to a city school, you're taking public transportation. You're taking the actual MTA bus or you're taking the train. What they ended up doing is stopping all service to those transportation forms. So during that day, like I was saying, the day that this flyer said that the children were going to, cause all this destruction that we know was false, that the police made up, on that same day, the police had stopped service for the bus and stopped service for the train in that stop. So what you had was all these kids from the school in that area who were literally trapped and like 3 miles from where they lived, right? The funeral of Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old black man who died in police custody this month, had ended hours earlier at a nearby church. According to the Baltimore Sun, a call to purge, yes, it was a call to purge, a reference to the 2013 dystopian film in which all crime is made legal for one night, circulated on social media among school-age Baltimoreans that morning. The rumored plan, which was not traced to any specific person or group, that means the police made it, was to assemble at the Mondawmin Mall at 3 p.m. and proceed down Pennsylvania Avenue toward downtown Baltimore. The Baltimore Police Department, which was aware of the purge call, prepared for the worst. Shortly before noon, the department issued a statement saying it had received credible information that members of various gangs have entered into a partnership to take out law enforcement officers. So, like I was saying, these kids were literally trapped in this area because there was no transportation in or out of this area. So they got out of school and had nowhere to go except down Pennsylvania Avenue, which coincidentally is the same route that was described as they were going to take during this purge call, which we know was not created by any of these kids. It was created by the police. And on top of that, you have the police saying, yeah, we have credible information that some gangs are going to try to take us out. Mind you, we have no idea where this credible information came from, but the police said it, so it must be true, right? When school let out that afternoon, police were in the area equipped with full riot gear. According to eyewitnesses in the Mondawmin neighborhood, the police were stopping buses and forcing rioters, including many students who were trying to get home, to disembark. Cops shut down the local subway stop. They also blockaded roads near the Mondawmin Mall and Frederick Douglass High School, which is across the street from the mall, and essentially corralled young people in the area. That is, they did not allow the after-school crowd to disperse. So, typically, when you have a riot or something happen, what do the police say? Disperse. Please disperse. However, in this situation, you have the police that have set them up in this situation to... They were pre-kettled. If you don't know what kettling is when the police trap you in an area in order to come in and make mass arrests, right? The police had already preemptively done this. And we're talking, mind you, we're talking about high school kids. Sometimes we're talking, and some kids were middle school kids. Like I said earlier, there was a kid in 5th grade who was arrested during this. Megan Harris, a teacher at a nearby school, described on Facebook what happened. Police were forcing buses to stop and unload all their passengers. Then, Frederick Douglass High School students in huge herds were trying to leave on various buses, but couldn't catch any because they were all shut down. No kids were yet around except about 20 who looked like they were waiting for police to do something. The cops, on the other hand, were in full riot gear, marching toward any small social clique of students. It looked as if there were hundreds of cops. The kids were standing around in groups of 3 or 4, Harris said in a Facebook message to Mother Jones. They weren't doing anything, no rock throwing, nothing. The cops started marching towards a group of kids who were just milling about. A teacher at Douglass High School, who asked not to be identified, tells a similar story. When school was winding down, many students were leaving early with their parents or of their own accord. Those who didn't depart early, she says, were stranded. Many of the students still at school at that point, she notes, wanted to get out of the area and avoid any purge-like violence. Some were requesting rides home from teachers, but by now it was difficult to leave the neighborhood. I rode with another teacher home, this teacher recalls, and we had to route our travel around the police and riot gear blocking the road. The majority of my students thought what was going to happen was stupid or were frightened at the idea. Very few seemed to want to participate in the purge. Yeah, exactly, Jenna. It's because the point is not to create peace. The point is to arrest everyone. A parent who picked up his children from a nearby elementary school says via Twitter, the kids stood across from police and looked like they were asking them, why can't we get on the buses? But the police were just gazing. Majority of those kids aren't from around that neighborhood. They need those buses and trains in order to get home, he continued. If they would have let them children go home, yesterday wouldn't have even turned out like that. Meg Gibson, another Baltimore teacher, described a similar scene to Gawker. The riot police were already at the bus stop on the other side of the mall, turning buses that transport the students away, not allowing students to board. They were waiting for the kids. Those kids were set up. They were treated like criminals before the first brick was even thrown. With police unloading buses and with the nearby metro station shut down, there were few ways for students to clear out. Several eyewitnesses in the area that afternoon say that police seemed to arrive at Mondawmin anticipating mobs and violence prior to any looting. At 3:01 p.m., the Baltimore Police Department posted on its Facebook page, there was a group of juveniles in the area of Mondawmin Mall. Expect traffic delays in the area. But many of the kids, according to eyewitnesses, were stuck there because of police actions. The Baltimore Police Department did not respond to requests for comment because, of course, they wouldn't. Around 3:30, the police reported that juveniles had begun to throw bottles and bricks. 15 minutes later, the police department noted that one of its officers had been injured. After that, the violence escalated and rioters started looting the Mondawmin Mall, and Baltimore was in for a long night of trouble and violence. But as the event is reviewed and investigated, an important question warrants attention. What might have happened had the police not prevented students from leaving the area? The department's own actions increase the chances of conflict. And the answer to that question is abso-fucking-lutely yes, right? There was even videos that were floating around of the police throwing the bricks and the bottles first, and the kids throwing them back, right? And if you know anything about things like bait bricks, you know perfectly well that it's completely plausible, and that's what I saw happen. Let me show you a thing about bait bricks. I can't even show you because all these shits are about whether or not bait bricks are real, and bait bricks are absolutely real. So what I'll just explain to you. So what bait bricks are what the police will do is they will leave out random piles of bricks, or they will go through the facade if the facade has like loose stones or bricks or anything, and put them out like on the sidewalk so that the temptation is there for protesters and so on and so forth to pick up that brick and throw it at a window or whatever, and then give the police the go ahead to then go through and arrest everyone and make mass arrests, pepper spray people or whatever. Essentially, it's an excuse for police to escalate whatever level of violence that they are currently engaging in. So, yeah, that was the whole situation with the 2015 uprising with Freddie Gray. Rest in peace, Freddie Gray. He would have been 32 today. He's, only 9 days older than me. My birthday is the 25th. I will be turning 32. And yeah, man, it could have just as easily happened to me. My encounter with the police, one of my encounters with the police, I got guns pointed in my face. 3 officers with Glocks pointed directly in my face, raided my apartment over something that isn't even illegal in the state anymore, right? Over something that a lot of white people in the state are making a lot of money off of, and in other areas, right? We're talking about cannabis, talking about marijuana. So yeah, man, rest in peace, Freddie Gray. Abolish the police. The Baltimore Police Department is a criminal organization. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. So I think I'm gonna go back to Mortal Kombat now. Play like 2 or 3 more games of MK. And yeah, what up, Bird? I don't know if you just got here or not, but I was just talking about Freddie Gray and that whole situation and how the police set the kids up and how the riots were literally set up by the police so that they could go through and arrest everyone and shit. Thank you, Jen. I'm glad you exist as well. I truly appreciate you and all the support that you give me and everything, and just keep on doing you and be safe.
Noob Saibot. Jax. Shinnok's Bone Temple.
Man, Scorpion toasted you. Mac ripped off your arms.
But I survived. You didn't.
Round 1. Fight.
I'll play this dude off if he stops lagging. Yeah. He don't want the smoke. He did both bars on that first combo to get his little 30%er off on me, and then, you know, he don't want that smoke. Love you too, Big Richie. Loki wouldn't be here without you, potentially, so... Yo, Gideon Carter, I appreciate that like, friend. If you give me a share, I would truly appreciate that. Making, oh yeah, I stay making people pull the cord. He got his little, like I said, he got his little goofy 2-bar 30%er off on me. I let him have that one. Then as soon as I started putting in the work, he didn't want to smoke. He became a non-smoker. He quit smoking. He was worried about his health. Yo, I appreciate you, Justin. Thanks for coming through and saying that. It really means a lot. I don't know how much of this you watched, but I appreciate you.
Scorpion.
Thank you for the share, Gideon. I really do appreciate that.
Retro Kid.
Talking mad shit after them losses. What are you talking about? I beat that dude first round, and he only beat me. He had like 10 health after he beat me. I almost beat him. I just whiffed on the command grab. Yo, Legend Lee 4X, thank you for the follow.
Fight.
Nope, no sir, staggers.
I'm pulling rank.
Bunk, bunk, bunk. No sir. Follow for follow, best of 7. I appreciate you. I'll do it. I'm down for that. Okay. Standing one in the grab. Okay. I'll follow you really quick. I'm a champion to you. And yeah, Justin, police, like,
Round
I don't know.
Fight.
Oh, naturally. Naturally. Nope. 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 Go round. Yeah, I'm all about the community policing. I'm all about the community handling their own internal issues. I'm not with the police being able to just cage people at will. Are you fucking kidding me?
Shut up and color.
Second place in MK with first in your heart. That's right. I was definitely ducking right there. Oh my god. Nope. Good round. Plus frames. That was close. Let's go. Let us go. Pixelity. Did it get pixelated? I was blocking low right there, but okay.
Feel my pain.
Nope. Good round. What a comeback. The magic pixel? Yeah, I did.
Round 2. Fight.
Nope. Bonk. I thought I could close the gap right there. Nope. Nope. Get grabbed. Bonk.
No mercy.
Ah, he knew I was gonna do that. I got one of those too. It's cool. Thanks for the like, Tia.
Finish him.
Play him off.
Friendship. Jax wins.
Twist his dick. Oh, yo wanted the friendly. Hell no. You're mad as shit, bud. Oh, yeah. Oh, so who wanted the first to 7? Legend Lee, 4X. You want that first to 7? Let me go ahead and give you a follow. Thank you, Tia. Twist his dick! Let me log into my Twitch first. That would probably help if I want to follow people. Alright, yeah, I just followed you, Legendly. 20 followers, damn. Everybody go follow Legendly 4X. Let's get them numbers up. I did play them off for you, Bird. I played them off just for you. Scope that thickness. The scope the yeeks. I got the yeeks. I got cake. I got cakes for days. This motherfucker is yellow bar hardwired. Nah, that's gonna be a hard pass. You must not want to play if you can't even get your connection right. That's how I feel about that. Hell yeah, Bird. The candied yams. Oh yeah.
Shang Tsung. Jax.
All right.
Black Dragon Fight Club.
All right, probably one more after this one.
Round 1. Fight.
Nope, riot ribs. Plus frames. Are you kidding me? At least I made him waste that.
Round 2. Fight.
Now you fucked up. Naturally. Nope. Good round. Starting to sound like you've been eating crackers and sand, yeah, in the middle of the Sahara Desert. In the noonday sun, friend.
Final round. Fight.
I got fireballs too, huh? How about that? Bump, 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 bump. What a goofball ass move. I was blocking, but okay. Let me beat this Shang Tsung. Stop playing around.
Round 1. Fight!
Damn, Sung, where'd you find this? Nope, no rolls. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me, dog? Alright, let me stop playing around.
Round 2. Fight!
Oh my god. That's only the second time a Shang Tsung has beat me like that, though. I'm about to unfollow. This isn't the dude that I said first to 7. People are falling on planes in Kabul and landing on people's houses. Wild. I'm gonna mute this. I'm not gonna watch this on stream because I'm probably gonna get blamed for this, but what the fuck, dog? I can't believe that that's. Oh my god. That's wild. That is wild. I'm gonna post it in stream chat. I'm not gonna watch it on stream. But yeah.
Sub-Zero. Jax. Shang Tsung's Island Ruins.
The tournament is over,
Then call this an exhibition match.
in which I will exhibit superior skill.
Round 1. Fight.
Random slide. What's up, AJ Styles? Thanks for the follow. What's up, Panorama? I'm doing okay, Panorama. I blocked that, but okay. Panorama and AJ Styles, how you feeling?
Fight.
I'm on PS4. Thanks for the like, Key. And thanks for the share as well. I appreciate you.
Final round. Fight.
What? Random slide. Rest in peace.
Brutality.
That's just sad.
The Switch, I believe the Switch crossplay is PS4, but I'm not entirely sure. Rest in pieces, yeah. I was risky going for that command grab at the end. I thought for sure he was gonna neutral duck and crushing blow uppercut me down 2.
The tournament is
Round 1. Fight.
Aftermath images? Yikes, yeah.
Round 2. Fight.
I shouldn't have done that.
You're getting shit.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I shouldn't have done that. Rest in peace.
Brutality.
What a crazy win. All right, last game. Unless I lose, then it's 2 more. Yeah, he didn't have the guts. He didn't have the intestinal fortitude to stand toe-to-toe with the god. It's like, let me stop. Let me cease and desist my braggadocious nature Fuck out of here. You've seen me lose 2 games this entire night.
Shang Tsung.
Oh, it's this guy again, too. What the fuck?
Jax.
Is this my redemption?
Round 1. Fight.
I win.
It's been a long day.
Round 2. Fight.
Nope. Download complete, friend. Download complete. Download complete.
Brutality.
100% like it's Napster at 2 a.m. at your mom's house on dial-up. Download complete.
Round 1. Fight.
Eyeless.
Has begun.
Round 2. Fight.
I fucking blocked the shit out of that and that. That's crazy. Nope. He's hacking. Nope, good round.
Retreat's your best option.
Lag switch.
Final round. Fight.
Nope, anti-air. Okay, hello. Nope. 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 Nope.
Shut up.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my fucking god. No fucking way. He's mad as shit. Let me turn up so I can beat this Shengi. Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung wins.
He was mad as shit about that brutality. Those cheeks are mine.
Fight.
Oh my fucking god, now I'm getting whiffed inputs all day. What the fuck? Alright, let me play patient.
Round 2. Fight.
Hello? Oh, that's a high. He's standing right now? Yeah. What? Bonk, 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 bonk.
You're getting shelled.
Oh my fucking god. My fucking armor didn't activate soon enough.
Shang Tsung wins.
He was mad as shit about that brutality. I almost beat him again too. He was standing up. You know he was standing up. I'm a winner to you? Cool, thank you. No selling it? Yeah.
Noob Saibot. Jax. Kronika's Keep. Round 1. Fight.
I was gonna say, can I get a command grab, please? What the fuck? What kind of lagging shit is this? Okay, I see you. Ever wonder how Jax beats off? He probably has like silicone gloves he wears. Also, Jax gets pussy. He doesn't need to beat off. He's married. He gets that shit raw too. He's got a daughter. Riot ribs. I win.
Round 2. Fight.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
I'm pulling rank.
Finish him.
Bonk. What's up, the great Doctor Who? How you feeling?
Jax wins.
Thank you, the great Doctor Who. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Thanks for the compliment. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 p.m. if you want to come check out some more. I stream, lately I've been streaming Naraka, Blade Point. Uh-oh. The Raiden main. I'm actually about to end the stream too, because this is going to be my last match. I see what you did there, Doctor Who. But yeah, if you want to see me play some more, I might not play Mortal Kombat on Wednesday. I'll probably play Naraka. But yeah. Hell yeah. I appreciate you, Doctor Who. Thanks for the follow.
Round 1. Fight.
I could have swore I blocked low. This motherfucker is lagging, dude. Look at this. Nope, no sir. Bonk. A comeback. Get out of here with that lag.
Round 2. Fight.
Ooh.
Shut up, fella.
Who told you to get out the corner? What? Bonk. Play him off. He did guess wrong mad times.
Friendship. Jax wins.
Use your code. What code is it? The playoff. Made it to the playoffs. Call me the Ravens, because I'll be making it to the playoffs. My man wants the friendly. Should I give him the friendly? He was lagging a little bit. I'll give him one quick friendly before I go. Win or lose, I'll back out. And if he talks shit, if he beats me, then we'll know he's a real clown. A real bozo. Oh, I guess he didn't want to smoke. In settings. It's about game settings. 60% off combat pack 2. Oh, that's tempting, but I'm not buying any of that shit. That's the phone number for the TARDIS. One 155,975. Is that do I put that in like the store or something? Like where do I put that? Free Chronica voice? That's cool. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't really care about the voice in the game. I'll try and put the code in though. I'll put it wherever I want. Yeah, it's not yeah, I'm not sure where to put the code in. Yeah, so I guess that's probably gonna do it for me for tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. An MK11. Store redeem code. Oh, okay. Click link in settings. I see options. Is it in options? Like link to mobile. Nah, I'm good. I'm actually good. I appreciate it though, the great Doctor Who. I don't really. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not super pressed on the voice. But if you want to see some more dope Mortal Kombat play, I am going to be signing off. I am tired and I need to go to sleep. However, I will be rating ASMR Slayer's stream. So with that said, thank you for the likes and follows and everything, everyone. I'm up to like 3 a.m. I mean, yeah, I don't want to stream till 3 a.m. though. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate you all. I'll be back Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York time if you want to come check out the news. Watch me play some Naraka Blade Point. And yeah, be safe, stay healthy, stay blessed.